Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. Kaiser and I are coming to you today with some news about what's going on with the Senate hearings. And we have a lot of mean Democrats that think that their interrogation of some of these highly qualified people, such as Pam Bondi and Pete Hegseth, has been fun for them to tear down people's reputations and try to get the gotcha questions in there that are not working well for them as they thought that it might be, due to the fact that they're been set in their place and they're trying to disrupt the incoming cabinet for various reasons, such as they did with some of the Supreme Court nominees not that long ago. And by the way, it's the same people that are at it again. Blumenthal, Adam Schiff, and I can't wait for Nadler's BS when he gets up to ask questions. Anyway, Pam Bondi did, I believe, a beautiful job. So did Pete the day before. And I believe that they should be approved for their nominations and get on with the job and the task of actually going back and saving this country from the destruction that has taken place in the last 4 years, in case you haven't been watching what's going on and what the world thinks of Biden's fabulous job that he just got through telling us last night that he's accomplished, including a cessation and ceasefire of the Hamas-Israeli conflict that's going on. And he'd like to take full credit for that, even asked if he thought that Trump helped. He turned around with a nasty comment, "Is that a joke?" Well, it is not a joke. You're the joke, Joe. And you need to realize that, and realize that very quickly, because you have a low approval rating from us, we the people in the United States, who have seen what kind of a job you're capable of doing and what you have brought us in the ensuing chaos that your open border, your migrant crime, and everything else has touched us as American citizens. Also, your spending spree to break the bank of the United States has not worked, and now we have to go into a recovery mode, not only a recovery mode from the damages done by storms that you did not handle properly, but now we have an entire state that's on fire, and the northern part of the state that's not on fire is full of migrant crime and homelessness that is an atrocity for anyone that used to go on a regular basis to visit the city on the bay. San Francisco is almost now too dangerous to be walking around in. That's your legacy, Joe. Your legacy's not going to be that you brought peace to the Middle East. It's going to be that you disrupted peace progress in the Middle East for 4 years. And if Anthony Blinken thinks that he's done anything in this negotiation, he's failed and failed again and then failed one more time. Well, let's take a look at the most recent developments on his ceasefire.
But look at what I've inherited and what I've done.
Drika, good evening. CBS News can confirm ceasefire talks are on the verge of collapse. That's from a source close to the negotiations. The CIA director is meeting with Qatar's prime minister in an emergency session. Hamas's delegation is talking with its own leaders, and Israel's prime minister says his government will not agree to Hamas's demands.
Vice President Kamala Harris is now demanding Hamas agree to a ceasefire, even though the terror group is refusing to give Israel a list of all hostages still alive.
Look, I know you gotta be frustrated. I know. I can taste it.
You better do this, because the alternative...
Do you think they're waiting for President Trump to take office?
No, I think they heard him loud and clear. Better get done by the inaugural.
But when you say all hell will
Before
be
I
paid,
take
or
office.
that all hell must be paid if they don't release the hostages.
don't you?
Well-
Do I have to define it for you? Look, all
No, I know
hell
you're not
will
gonna
break out.
telegraph
If
what-
those hostages aren't back, I don't want to hurt your negotiation. If they're not back by the time I get into office, all hell will break out in the Middle East.
Can you elaborate?
And it will not be good for Hamas, and it will not be good, frankly, for anyone. All hell will break out. I don't have to say anymore, but that's what it is.
1 week later.
Right now, Israel and Hamas reaching an apparent ceasefire agreement in Gaza and a deal to release the hostages. Homa Bash in the newsroom right now with those latest details. Homa?
Jim, it is a 6-week ceasefire deal that'll happen in 3 phases. It means an end to 15 months of fighting and devastation in Gaza. It also means the hostages held by Hamas will be released, including 7 Americans.
Well, I'll be damned.
Later that same evening.
This deal will hold.
I'm confident. Thank you.
Books credit for this, Mr. President, you or Trump?
Is that a joke? Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
I didn't ask for your help.
And yet, you always need it.
Is that a joke?
No, but you are.
Interesting what they think that they had accomplished. It's interesting that on the 11th hour, with just a scant 3 days away from a new president taking over, that they're going to try and hang their hat on a legacy of failure and make you believe one more time that they knew what they were doing in this administration, which they have no clue of what they were doing. And the diversity hire cabinet that he has is no darn better. They're all failures. That's their legacy. But we're looking forward to Monday when a new broom will come in and sweep somewhat clean, if allowed to, do their work. And if the justice system is not one more time weaponized to make this coming administration fail like they have in the past with impeachments and all kinds of silly nonsense that they put we the people of the United States through for so long, and then 4 years of trying to convince you that what they did to the last president was justified. And now they want to try to block appointments because they think that someone may go after them for the crimes that they have perpetrated upon we, the American citizenry in this country. And they, believe me, they have committed crimes. Joe will pardon them all before his stepping out of the White House, including the entire Biden crime family and all of the sycophants that laid in next to him to make sure that their weaponized agenda destroyed our Constitution, but it did not work because now we have a full understanding of what these last 4 years brought to us. Let's talk about the open border and the crime situation that Mayorkas and his people let happen. And I'm talking about Kamala Harris, word salad princess herself, and the crime that has ensued in the United States with the amount of gang members and jail gangs from Venezuela and MS-13 has done to our cities, our communities, and in some cases, the deaths of our citizens. Well, here we go one more time. Take a look. They were warned.
And it's a new category. I don't know if you've heard this, but I came up with this one: migrant crime. There's violent crime, there's migrant crime. We have a new category of crime. It's called migrant crime, and it's going to be worse than any other form of crime. You look at New York City, what's going on where they attack police. They want to fight police officers. Our criminals don't even do that so much, okay? I've never seen, they're having fistfights with the police officers in the middle of the street. And we have to do something about it. These are tough people.
He talked about a supposedly new category of crime called migrant crime. This is basically propaganda.
New York, New York.
An MS-13 gang member pleading guilty to 7 murders today.
What did you say?
An MS-13 gang member pleading guilty to 7 murders today.
Prosecutors say he and others looked to kill anyone they thought was part of a rival gang.
Okay, Fox 5's Michelle Ross was in court and has more on his possible prison sentence, which family members of victims say is not long enough.
High-ranking MS-13 gang member Jairo Saenz, also known by the nickname Funny, pled guilty in federal court to 7 murders on Long Island and other violent charges. He was second in command to his brother Alexei Saenz, who pled guilty to the same charges last summer. Parents of some of those victims were in the courtroom in Central Islip, including George Johnson, the father of Michael Johnson, who says his 29-year-old son was killed when he left to get orange juice at a Brentwood deli.
It's just insane. But you can't walk across the street to get a loaf of bread, you get shot.
And I keep the kid with me every day I got. So this kid has no idea what he's done to me.
Prosecutors say the killings were carried out by machete, baseball bats, and guns. Brentwood High School students, 15-year-old Nisa Mickens and 16-year-old Kayla Cuevas, were also killed. Nisa's mother says she wants to focus on who her daughter was.
They destroyed a young woman at 15. She had so many goals at that age. She acted like she was 35. She wanted to be a basketball player. She wanted to buy me a house. She wanted me to be comfortable.
And neither parent who spoke today is content with the possible sentencing for Saenz. Under a plea agreement, he faces 40 to 60 years behind bars. But what family members wanted to hear was life in prison without the possibility of parole.
He just wants to have fun.
We have a secure border.
Unbelievable what's taking place. We need these people rounded up, starting with the criminal element first, and get them the heck out of our country and out of our government in some cases, because we're supplying them homes. We're supplying them, hotel rooms, credit cards, phones, and in some cases, airline transportations to get them into a city near you. So they can say that the border numbers on the southern border dropped under his administration. He's out now saying that he's got it lowered to next to nothing. That's because they're flying them in to the interior of the country and bypassing the southern border, and in some cases the Canadian border. We know now what's been covered up. We know now that there has been no earnest investigations in the assassination attempts on his opponent,
Well, that sounds dirty.
Donald J. Trump. We know now that there's no justification for giving away the billions and actually trillions of dollars that we have poured into despots around the world so we can maintain their wars and their borders while leaving ours wide open. Our eyes are open now. They were open in November when we stepped up to the voting booths and made our displeasure with this past administration well known. This is why, Joe, you're at a 30-some% failure rate among the American population. You can try as you might to build a legacy on approvals that you don't have, and try to build a legacy on the failures of your administration, but it will not work. You will be remembered in history as probably one of the worst presidents the United States has ever suffered through. Hands down. But let's hope that the Senate confirmation hearings go without a hitch for the rest of the nominations that are coming up. I would really like to know what the heck happened with the Tulsi Gabbard thing, why that was postponed, what's going on there. We're letting an idiot who has dementia to a point where he doesn't know where he is most times sit for another 3 days before he's taken out of making decisions and writing executive orders that have to be turned around and putting in stumbling blocks to an administration that's coming in with a dyed-in-the-wool plan to reverse the nonsense and fix the country. And that's what we're looking forward to on Monday, the 20th of January. I hope you're all enjoying watching some of these Senate hearings. I have been watching and listening to bring you what my thoughts are on it. I think the people in the states where people like Blumenthal and Schiff, I can't believe California would take Schiff out of Congress after what he did there, the lies that he told, and put him in the Senate. What's wrong with you people out there? Are you learning anything from your mistakes? Have you seen the fires? Have you seen what your Democratic government has done for you in the state of California? When will you elites out there with your woke agendas decide to act normal? When you are referred to as the land of fruits and nuts, there's a reason for that. And now maybe the fires will snap you to attention and get you to understand what you've been told and what you've been lied to about for 10 years now is not working for you. It's not working for you, your families, your homes, the cost of living, the EV cars that you have no power to charge, and so on and so on. I hope you wake up. I hope you all recover. And my heart goes out to all of you between Western North Carolina all the way out to L.A. that have lost their entire lives in some cases. I pray that you recover and recover nicely. No one on the other side of the aisle from each other, whether it's Republican, whether it's Democrat, should hate each other. They don't, because when the cameras go off and they go out to dinner and they all sit together and they all have a good time, the last thing that any career politician that has sat in the cushy seat of Congress for sometimes 40 years, they don't think about you in those off times. They have their cocktails together, they laugh together, and they pretend to fight with each other for your entertainment. So let's hold their feet to the fire, and that's each and every state in this beautiful union, and say to them, we've elected you. Here's what we elected you to do. And if you don't do it, you will not be reelected the next time. Because when these guys are elected and gals are elected, they immediately start running for the next election. Do they accomplish something for you? In some cases, yes. We have some really good people in our legislative branch. And then, on the other side of the coin, you've got some really mean, nasty people there as well. So with that, it's Thursday. I hope you all are having a wonderful Thursday. We're getting into the weekend, and if you're planning meals for the weekend, don't forget our sponsor, Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop in Kingsport, Tennessee. You can call them and get an order processed for you and arriving at your door the next day if you'll call 423-398-5595. Ask for Butch and tell him that Kaiser sent you, and he'll cut you a steak, chicken, pork, anything you want. And believe me, when you taste their meats, you'll never buy grocery store meats again. Once again, that's 423-398-5595. And I'll run their commercial here at the end of this video so you can take a look at how it's raised, where it's raised, and it's all farm fresh, no antibiotics, no growth hormones, and their hot dogs are made there with no fillers, and they are the best tasting dogs you've ever had in your entire life. So give them a call, and that's Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop, and you'll watch the commercial here and at the end. So we, Kaiser and I, wish you a very happy rest of this Thursday. God bless you all, and remember, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for great commentary, news bits, and a look at Appalachia through the eyes of John and his poodle. Bye-bye now.